All right, you know all those times your mom told you to stand up straight, you're standing like a caveman. Well, you learned your lesson and stood up straight, but guess what? We're going back to caveman. Why? Your smartphone. Dr. Alex Vidan is chiropractor from Vidan Family Chiropractic to talk about this thing. It's a real thing called the cervical curve. Good morning to you, Doc.
Good morning.
So where our heads are kind of leaning over, and you brought a weight to kind of demonstrate.
To demonstrate. So essentially what's happening is, if we say that our head is 10 to 12 pounds, 15 pounds, normally if we're here with a curve, it's not a problem. But as we start leaning forward more and more, like you were saying, to look down at our devices, it starts to put more stress and strain on the system, on the cervical curve, and starts to cause problems there.
And you're seeing a lot of this in your office, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to the x-rays. We have this shot here, but then we'll show that afterwards. Let's go to the x-rays in our monitor right now, before and after of somebody with cervical curve. And you are blaming this on smartphone use.
Yeah, absolutely. We're starting to see more of that tech. So when we're looking here, this is before care started. And we've got a straight spine, we've got pressure going forward, we've got pressure that gets put more on the bone and on the disc. It's not meant there, it's actually meant back here. So what we want to see is we want to see this curve that gets instated. When we have this curve, it starts to allow more proper function, decrease in things like headaches, migraines, sinus, allergy, heart, lung.
All of those things can come up from doing this all day, right?
Exactly.
So what are the recommendations for our smartphone use? How much would you recommend?
So it's hard to say, look, we're not going to stop using our smartphones.
No, we're not.
It's not going to happen. So what we're saying is this. Let's take a mobile moment to just look up. So there's a campaign that's Look Up America. And so in that, we want to just take a moment to look up and go into extension.
So
we do this
so you're
all day.
extending this here.
You're going back.
And what about kind of rolling and doing all that business?
That movement. And so what we find is that a lot of times patients come in like this with these problems in their neck. And then what we need to do is we need to make those changes through chiropractic care and then using something like this.
Okay, let's go back to that other photo now. So you basically said after the care of the cervical curve, you can do that. And this is not something you sleep on. You kind of referred to it as sort of a retainer for your neck.
Exactly. It's like a retainer for your neck. So after you've seen your chiropractor and they're doing what they do to restore the curve, a gentleman named Dr. Deed Harrison with CBP, he's come up with this, and there's research to support the findings that after using this, after you get chiropractic care, that you retain that curve that should be there. And so even long after, even a year later, we start to see that that curve still stays the way that it should be, as opposed to when we don't do that, it doesn't do it. So we want to use that retainer-like device.
So if you're having headaches, a reduced range of motion, weakness in the arms or leg, loss of grip, difficulty walking, all this stuff can be attributed to you looking at your smartphone. So look up America.
Look up America.
Just look up, take a couple of moments and do that and you'll start feeling better.
There you go.
Hopefully. If not, give Dr. Vidan a call. We've got a link to his website and his Facebook page on our Fox 2 News app. If you don't have it, download it for free.